Alright, hey traders, John Howell here. Hope you're doing well. In this video we're going to have a market update and we're going to be looking at all the different time frames so I can build you a solid picture on what the charts are telling me. Not my opinion, but what the charts are telling me. We're going to be looking at the monthly charts, we're going to be looking at the weekly charts, also the daily chart with the short-term indicators to see what is the bigger picture and the whole collective picture telling us. So let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, so we're going to be looking at the monthly charts, weekly charts and daily charts in this market update. And I want to show you what I see. Now you can see a screen now. I've got all different types of time frames here. And that's because I like to look at different time frames in different formats to see what is actually happening here. So I actually have the daily here, which is the main chart I'm always looking at. And then I have the weekly. This is a weekly line chart over here. Let me see if I can just bring up my... So this here is the daily chart that I have here. This here is the weekly line chart because it's actually just a line chart. This is a weekly open, highlight, close chart. Now, why do I have two different ones? Because for me, I'm always trying to read the chart itself. I'm always trying to get a good view on what the market is telling me itself. And you can't get, sometimes you can get that better from a line chart. Sometimes you can get it better from an open, highlight, close chart. But for me, I'm more about reading the chart and what the charts are telling me. So I'm flipping between the open, highlight, close bar chart and obviously the line chart as well too. So, and then we have, this is a monthly line chart up here. This is a monthly open, highlight, close chart. And then this one here is the hourly. So the reason why I have all these is because I'm trying to tie these all in together. Generally, generally the hourly, the reason I'm using the hourly is because I'm trying to see what is happening on the short-term movement. You know, what is likely to happen over the next maybe day or so, or next couple of days, or when is it getting ready to start doing some turning moves. And then the daily, same for that as well too. But then I look at the monthlies and weekly charts, and that sort of gives me that, again, that bigger picture view. Now the monthlies and weekly charts, guys, take many weeks to form out. You know, we may have another little sideways week this week when you're looking at the weekly chart, you know what I mean? So anyhow, so let's actually go through these charts one by one. Firstly, I want to show you the monthly line chart. This is the monthly line chart on the Dow Jones. And a few things that I want you to show you here. If we do start to break below these lows through here, then we have an acceleration move all the way down to 14,000, and that's probably going to happen really quickly. If that breaks, then we have a move back down to 11,000 pretty quickly, and if that breaks, then we're going to move probably back down to around the 17,000. So you can see how it's in stages. You can see how the bigger picture here is showing you stages. So this, remember, this is a monthly chart. This could take years to form out, but I'm just showing you what the bigger picture looks for me. If indeed we do start to break this level, this major resistance level, the next major resistance level is down here at 14,000. If that breaks, the next major resistance level and support level is down to 11,000. And especially if that breaks, if 11,000 breaks, then it's just going to be an acceleration move all the way down really quickly down to, say, 7,000. And then if that breaks, then, geez, who knows what's going to happen there. But you can see that's the stages that this market is likely to move in if we start to get that down move. So that's what I see on this monthly chart. So that's the monthly chart there, okay? So looking at this is now the weekly chart on the Dow Jones, but we're looking at a line chart. Now, why a line chart is because the line chart really gives me a good definition of a good understanding of what is actually happening here. So a lot of people right now, where we are right now on the Dow Jones, which is 17,897, they think that this market's just going to keep blasting up high, it's going to keep going high. So for me, it's not all about what I believe or what I think. I'm just going to tell you what the charts are telling me, and I'm going to build a picture around all the indices. The Dow Jones, which I'm starting with right now, monthly, daily, monthly, weekly, and then I'm going to go to the daily. I'm going to do the same for the S&P. I'm going to do the same for the Russell, and I'm going to do the same for the Nasdaq as well too. And then I'm going to let you decide. I'm going to give my view on what the charts are telling me, but I'll let you decide based on what the charts are telling you overall where this is going over for the rest of this year. So we can see that we've actually made this high point up here, this slight point here. We've just and this still is potentially going to be a slight lower high in the Dow Jones. We made a slight lower low here, bit of a double bottom on that there, and then the market ran up, as you can see. So as you can see, that's where we are right now on the Dow Jones, and we are definitely, you can see that right now, especially from this point through here, we're definitely getting a lot more volatility than we had through here. There was only maybe one point when we had 1 point on this all this way up in 2011 that we had this volatility, and now we're having it twice in, like, say, 6 months or so. So that's showing you guys that volatility is here to stay, which is a good thing if you know how to trade it properly. So that means that crashes and big flash crashes and big moves up, they're likely to continue for the rest of this year. Now, just bear in mind, guys, a market doesn't generally if a market's going to crash. Now, if something's going to come out on this market, and we're going to get another flash crash. Have you noticed that we get a flash crash when the market's up? So this market goes up, goes sideways, and then we get a flash crash. And then they build it up and they go sideways for a couple months, and then we get another pullback. And then we're coming up through here and we might get a little bit more up movement. Okay, note what I just said. We still might get a little bit more upward movement from here. Okay? But that's what I'm saying here on the Dow Jones. So we get a little bit of movement. But right now is the prime time for something to come out into markets for it to do this. Now, will it do that? I don't know. But if it does do that, as I said before, our next area is 14,000 to 13,500. So this is now the prime area for something to come out. This is where the market wants you. Remember, when the market goes up like that, like if we're gonna look at this part through here, then basically that part has just gone up like that, right? Little up move and that's gone up like that. This is the area where a lot of people that have been short, they're now saying, I'm wrong and I want to get my money back, so I'm going to start going long here. So they will short through here and short through here, and they'll short all the way up. And now they're saying, oh my goodness, this thing's just going to keep going up. I can't lose this. I'm going to get out, I'm going to go long, and then I'm going to get my money back when the market continues up. And that's the wrong to do, because that's when generally what happens, bam, they get stopped out again, and then they lose everything. And then they're saying that damn market got me. It wasn't the market that got you, it's you that got you, right? So where we are right now is a prime time. For something to come out to push this down further. So I would not be surprised to see the coming weeks, maybe even this week, something come out in the market that starts to push this market down pretty quickly again, because we're getting it as the prime time for that. Now, that's what the weekly charts are showing me, getting lower peaks, lower troughs, so on and so forth. What do the daily charts show me? So the daily charts, if I'll show you the daily charts here, the daily charts, obviously we've had this, we can see that on the daily charts, first thing that we see, let me just do this trend line here. First thing we can see this major resistance up the top here, and that's where it actually rejected, and then we had 1-2 small down days through there. The market did pop up and it had a small couple of down days. Now, as we've been making these highs and highs and highs through here, the stochastic has been making lows, lows, and potentially another low here. So we're losing strength on this move up. And as I've said to you guys in the past, that because we're making this move up through here, we've had these strong buys, and now we're getting these weaker buys to the high side. That is actually showing weakness. Not only that, but I'm getting confirmation from the stochastics. And not only that, but now on my RSI, which again, for the very first time, we're actually getting a little turning point on our daily chart, which is which is giving our first divergence on the stochastics on this daily chart on the Dow Jones. So we have a few things here. Firstly, we're at major resistance. Okay, firstly we're at major resistance here on the Dow Jones. So 1, resistance. Okay, again, you can build your own picture here, but I'm just telling you what the charts are telling me. 2, where we're definitely over extended, meaning this market's just gone up, 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 little pullback, up, up, up. That means we're due for at least a 50% pullback. Okay, so that's 2. Okay, so and 3, we're getting stochastics are very, very bearish, and 4, we're getting my RSI related strength indicator getting, or now is confirming and now getting a very fourth divergence. So you tell me where we're likely to go based on what I just showed you there. Okay, so once again, you can see this stochastics just starting to get this slight divergence, and that's the first time the stochastics, sorry, the RSI has actually done that. And so, and I have found a powerful, powerful, powerful combination when that happens. You can see when this time here, when the market, when the, let me see if I can get a line here. When the market cave and gave this higher, this divergence through here, basically double bottom through here, and it gave a higher trough, and it gave a divergence on the stochastic, on the RSI as well too. When it does that on the stochastics and the RSI together, that's quite powerful, because you can see the RSI doesn't follow along as much as the stochastics does, because the stochastics is definitely on a different setting there. But when they start to line up, like we're getting right now on the stochastic, on the RSI, and now we're getting this on the stochastics, it's definitely showing a lot of weakness through there. So that's what we see on the Dow Jones. But remember, you can't just take you can't just take the Dow Jones. You've got to be taking all the indices together, okay? So that's what I see on the Dow Jones. We're at resistance point, major lower troughs, lower peaks, so on and so forth, and everything I've just said there on the Dow Jones. Now, let's go to the S&P. Let's do the exact same thing, but I'll move a bit quicker now on what I see. Line chart, monthly chart. What do we see here? Well, this line chart, monthly chart, this is actually quite interesting on the S&P. If we break this 1,900 level, the next stop is 1,500. And when that happens, mark my words, when that happens, okay, when this market breaks through here, we are going to get an acceleration move as quick as you can look at it. All right, as quick as you can look at it, we are going to get such an acceleration move in the markets. It's going to just go boom, and I believe this is going to happen within a month. If we break this level here, there's the next major resistance down is 1,500, and it's going to be down, 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 boom, 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 boom. This thing's going to flush as quickly as possible, and we're going to start to get some really big downward moves. See this move down through here, like through there, bam, and then suddenly bam like that. That's what I believe we're likely to get, because there's no room here on this monthly chart. It's just straight down. All right, so that's what I see there on the big chart. If we break the 1900 level, looking at the weekly chart. Now, what do we see on the weekly chart? Again, looking at the line chart. Now, the line chart on the S&P 500 is definitely showing a lot more. Definitely a lot more weakness. Why? We had this high up the top here, then we had this other high up the top here, and now we're potentially making another high up the top here. We've definitely made a lower low. So what are we getting here, and what are we forming through here? We're forming this lower peak, a lower peak through there. We've already made this major lower trough. So I would say, why not start to see the acceleration move on the downside? And if we do start to falter through here, guys, this is the point through here. This is the point through here that if the market, if the Fed, if all those sort of whatever are trying to keep this market up, then what I do see, guys, is this is likely to move, but we're likely to move quick, really quick down to at least 1,500. And I believe that's likely to happen over the next... okay, I'm going to say a whim here. I believe that's going to happen over the next couple of months. Probably by July, I believe we're going to be down by 1,500. I know that's a pretty big call, but that's just my opinion. It may not happen, right? But the charts are very weak here. So anyway, so that's what I see on the S&P 500 weekly chart. All right. Now, if we do fail through here, then we're likely to see that. I know, it makes me even nervous making that call of 1,500 by July, but we'll see. And on the daily chart, what do we see on the daily chart? We're getting the exact same thing as we saw on the Dow Jones. Okay, now but on this S&P chart, we've definitely got this resistance line coming down through here, which is forming what? Which is forming this high, and another potential lower high. And now what are we forming through here? We're now forming the stochastics is now, RSI is now forming down, same thing as the Dow Jones. We're starting to form a lot more, and now we're getting the very first potential divergence on the RSI, and the stochastic has been making lower highs as this market's moving up. We are getting ready for a turning point, guys. We're getting into that major turning point through here. It hasn't been holding up through these levels through here, but now we're getting ready for everything here about the indicators and so on and so forth is showing me that. So they're the two markets that have pulled up the most. Now the ones that I do want to show you that to me look like they're going to get hammered as well too is like the Russell. Now let's have a look at the Russell. The Russell on the monthly chart, that's obviously, look at that monthly chart. Tell me what is positive about that monthly chart. Nothing, absolutely nothing, right? So what do we see here? We see this major neckline through here somewhere, or through there. We see this trend line coming down through here. And what do we see also? We see that it's got this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. All of a sudden it's run right back up to this resistance level. So when the Russell to me is likely to stall through here, and we're likely to get an acceleration. This is obviously the Russell 2000 index. This is likely to run straight back down to these highs through here. Now, what is those highs? These highs through here, around the $85 mark. Now I don't know about you guys, but that to me is a 20-25% plus move on the downside. And I believe that's likely to happen over the next couple of months. I really do believe that. Now, that's the monthly chart. What do we see on the weekly chart? The weekly chart is basically a variation of that, but on the weekly chart, we can actually see, let me bring up the open highlight close because I want to show you something here. This is the open highlight close weekly chart of the Russell, and we've got a bar chart here, okay? Now, I've been saying for quite some time that we've had this run up, and we've had this run up, slowly run up, slowly run up, slowly run up, slowly been running up through here. We've had these strong buys, and now we've had this weaker buys. We haven't been able to really get out of this level through here. So we're still running up through there. This to me, guys, is where the market fails. And if it fails through here, then it's simply as just a one-to-one projection. Grab the trend line. Let's go from here to the lows. Right, from there to there, and then we go from there to there. So that was that move there. I'm gonna grab that line, and if the market stalls through here, guess where we're likely to go? Down to there, which is 85, 86, and if I bring it to the exact high points on these daily charts, oh my goodness, you can't get better than that, right? That was just simply a one-to-one projection, and it meets at those high points. That's where we're going, guys. That's where we are going. And on the daily charts, we see that that the Russell is starting to get, obviously we're getting, the Russell's been slowly crawling up. Nothing's been happening with the RSI and the stochastics itself. The stochastics itself, which is very noticeable. What I did notice is that we've already got a deeper, so we had this trough through here, which is basically a trough, had this sort of higher peak through here on the stochastics. We now came down and we grabbed this lower trough. So now we're getting ready for this sort of turning point through here. And when that happens, I believe we're likely to start getting something like this through here. And the market just goes straight down. So that's what I believe we're getting ready to. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. But I believe over this next week, we're likely to start seeing that. Now let's go to the Nasdaq. What do we see on the Nasdaq? So the Nasdaq we see on this monthly charts is actually really interesting. Let me show you this monthly chart on this open highlight close chart. This is the open highlight close of the monthly chart. Squeezed up. If we break the 4,300 on the Nasdaq, then we have if it breaks that, we are going to see at least a 30% drop real quick on the Nasdaq, and it's going to just go boom straight down really quickly. We're talking like in a couple of weeks to a month, maybe a couple of months maximum, but we are likely to see that because there's nothing there in between. Look at this monthly chart. Once it breaks this overall major 4,200 level, then it's just free fall from that straight down on the Nasdaq. And now I actually am positioned on the Nasdaq for long-term drop on itself as well too. So just keep that in mind, guys, moving forward through this year. Okay, and obviously we have a look. That's the monthly charts. What do we see on the weekly charts? Now the weekly charts, guys, is actually really interesting, because the weekly charts to me looks like it might be forming another. This is actually very clear, very absolutely just clear as bell. High, lower high, potentially another high. We've had this trough, we had this lower trough. That to me, guys, and right now where it is right now, that's actually at this overall major areas of resistance levels up through here. This is the turning point, guys. This is the turning point that the market stops and then starts to do this. This is the point here, guys, where most traders just say, I've had enough. I've had enough. I've been short here, and I've been short here, and I've been short here, and the market's been going up. I've had enough. I'm getting out. And they go and they buy the market, and then the market drops. It's called a sucker rally. I've been doing videos for the last couple of weeks, but this whole thing moving to the other side is a sucker rally to get you in. And then suckers right now are saying, oh, well, no, it's just going to keep going up. Yeah, right. That's what I think anyway. Right, and then obviously we're looking at, the daily chart. Same thing, right? Lower highs, lower peaks, so on and so forth. And the same thing as we're getting on the Nasdaq. Again, that bigger picture and the smaller time pictures. What are we seeing? We're seeing that the stochastics has been making divergence all the way down so far, and it's been getting weaker and weaker and weaker, showing weakness out of this move. And now we're getting our very first divergence on our RSI. So. And if you look at that, and this is actually one of the ETFs that I trade, but look at this QQQ. This follows the Nasdaq really closely, and I actually trade the QQQ myself. So looking at the QQQ, guys, look at this. Look how weak that looks. It looks very similar to the what am I talking about? Nasdaq. So it looks very similar to the Nasdaq. But that to me, guys, and especially if you bring up, say, this open highlight close chart, because it shows it a bit better. This to me is where we start to fail. This to me is where we start to fail through here, and then we start to get some big moves down. Something's going to come out here, guys. You watch. Over this week, or over the next week or two, something big's going to happen in these markets, and we're likely to see a flush down. Now, the thing I must say to you guys is that you guys that are thinking about going long in this market, where do you think this market is going? Do you think that long position is likely to happen? Meaning, what I've just showed you on this chart in this last 22 minutes now, longer. What I've actually showed on this video, where do you think the market's going? What is the chart telling you? Not what naysayers, not what this bullshit people out there are saying on YouTube. What is the chart? Which, remember, the chart is the truth. What is the chart telling you? If you were a betting man and you went to the casino and you had to put $100 on something, or you had to put say $100,000 on something, you just had to. It's like you just got to do it, right? Would you be more comfortable putting on $100,000 going bullish in this market, or $100,000 going bearish in this market? So that's what I want to ask you that question, all right? Don't just say, well, I think this market's going to keep going up, because that's your thought. Your thought means jack shit in this market. What is actually the chart telling you? And I can tell you right now, the chart is very weak. And this whole rally we've been getting for the last couple of months is just a continued extended rally of a sucker move. And that's all that it is. And I believe right now is the time that we start to see some significant movement on the downside. Hey, it's John Howell here, and thanks so much for watching my video. You see, I'm putting out daily videos and education on helping you learning the art of successful trading. So click on the subscribe button to keep up to date with every video I do. Also, check out my story video, $250,000 in debt, cancer, overweight, family passing away, lived on the streets, and more, and how I overcome it and now thriving through my life. This is here to motivate you, so click on that image to watch my video. And lastly, if you're struggling with your trading, then you need to see my latest webinar where I'm sharing with you an amazing strategy that allows you to generate an income without getting the direction right. So click on that image on this page to register for my next free webinar. This is John Howell here. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.